the beach, paying off.
And here we go. We're underway with semifinal number 1. Ben Player and Dave Winchester out in the I'm sorry. Yeah, Dave Winchester in the yellow jersey on that first wave.
Starting off with a real nice clean deep barrel and a big roll, poking his big chest up to show the make. Followed straight up by Benny in a foamy monster, but it could always bowl up. No.
So quick wave exchange to get things started here in semifinal number 1. Before we peace out of here, do you have any final words?
Well, definitely good luck to Benny, Wingy, and Mitch today. Particularly Mitch and Winnie. Guys haven't won a world title yet, and two of the guys with the most talent and most deserving. Really rooting for those guys. And let's see if an Aussie can bring it home today against. I think who's left now? Is it just Tamago that's the only dream wrecker for the Australians on this big day?
Yeah, we've got 3 Australians and a Brazilian for the semi-final.
That's interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how things play out. Well, thanks again, Ryan, for joining me up here in the booth. I always appreciate you answering my questions and help giving some wave-by-wave playback. And Manny Vargas is going to step back in, so I'll see you down on the beach later. I'm sure after the event there'll be a few beers down in the Heineken Lounge. I'll catch up with you later.
I dare say, Jacko, yeah, it's been a good week. I'll catch you soon. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. It's still looking really glassy out here, so it should stay good through to the final, I think. And if waves keep coming in like Mitch caught then, it's going to be a good show, Jacko. It's going to be sick. These guys are going to be just getting more and more fired up as it winds down the final, and dreams going to be made and crushed in the same day.
And there you can see who we've got out in the water. Semifinal number 1, Ben Player, the 2-time world champ, going up against the current world number 1 ranked rider on the world tour, Dave Winchester. Aussie versus Aussie out in the water. As one of my boys would say, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Come on, boyos.
So, all right, Manny Vargas getting ready to step back into the booth. And just waiting for our riders out in the water. And the scores to drop from the judges. We'll see how that first wave exchange plans out. There you go. Dave Winchester with a 7.0. Ben Player with a 1.2. So it's Dave Winchester with the early advantage jumping out in front with a 7 on that first wave. These guys will look for secondary waves. Benny going to look for something a little more substantial than the 1.2.
Of course, both boys sitting there a little bit distance apart, kind of similar to how Mitch and Jose were in the last heat. Perhaps a little closer together. Maybe thinking how Jose didn't catch any of the good waves in the last heat because maybe him and Mitch were too distance apart. They're kind of thinking, well, if we're a bit closer to each other, then we've got better chance of both of us catching the good set waves that are coming.
All right.
And not just one of us dominating.
All right, and while we have a break in the action and Manny Vargas steps back into the booth, we're going to throw to an ad real quick. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And Manny Vargas stepping back into the booth, still wearing a Speedo. I'm glad we're not on camera right now. Meanwhile, out in the water, a little bit of a lull in the action. Again, real quick, Dave Winchester with a 7-point ride on his first wave jumps out to the early lead. Ben Player with a 1.2, looking for something a little more substantial. And how's it going, Manny?
Oh, man. Welcome to paradise. If I could wear hot pants in California, I totally would.
I don't know if you get away with it back home in San Diego, but here on the beaches of Brazil, most definitely.
All right. So, you know what? As I was chilling out on a couple heats break, I saw some intensity in some of these guys' eyes, especially Ben Player, and just seeing Dave Winchester chatting it up with the boys. I can still see through his eyes that he wants a win here at the Itacoatiara Pro, sponsored by Pride. uzike.com and net. So it's going to be very fun to watch these last few heats of the contest. Don't go anywhere. In fact, tell your friends, call them, tweet, Facebook, text, email, do whatever you have to do, because these next few heats are going to be some of the most exciting ones of the event.
And there you can see on the beach, one of the photographers getting the shots. You've been cruising around getting some good photos, not only on the beach, but out in the water with your water housing and your specialized GoPro setup.
Yeah, but nothing compares to what Sasha Specker has been capturing throughout the entire event. If you want to see those photos from Sasha and some behind-the-scene shots from me and you, Jackson, head on over to ibaworldtour.com and click on the photos button. Look at this. Ben Player out the back.
Up and riding BP on the left, drops in, drives down the line, finds the next. Such a big flip.
Nice.
And he rides out clean. One maneuver on that, but that was a big maneuver. He got the section, and he utilized it.
All right, so you know what? I did watch that last heat, the quarterfinal number 4, and Jose Octavio just got dead stopped in his tracks. But look at this. Ben Player answering back to Dave Winchester's high-scoring first wave. Nice, clean backflip right there from Ben Player, and that's going to score high. Definitely will be his highest score of this heat. Semifinal number 1, the Australians, Dave Winchester in yellow, Ben Player in red, going head-to-head right now. The person coming in first place will advance on to the finals here at the Itacoatiara Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have Alex Leone with the winner of the last heat, Mitch Rollins. Alex, where you at, brother?
Down here, mate. Mitch Rollins taking that one out. Comboing Jose Octavio, the local boy, within the first couple of minutes. Mate, you are on fire.
Yeah, just trying to stay busy in my heats. Not being too patient. It's a beachy. The busier you get, the kind of more rhythm you get. It doesn't seem to matter if you don't make a wave. It's pretty close to get back out and get straight back into it. Just stay busy, and hopefully where you paddle out, the good waves are coming through, and just got to make the most of it.
Yeah, in my eyes for sure, I've been watching, and you're probably in the best rhythm I've ever seen you in for Conhouse surfing. This year's you're blowing me away by the way you're surfing your heats, and so professional too, and you're just linking everything up. It's just surfing incredible. It must be the boards. I don't know what it is.
I think it's just more just catching as many waves as I can. That's what a Conhouse is. Sometimes the more waves you catch, the more percentage you're going to get better ones. So previously I would always just kind of wait for the best waves, and sometimes the best waves don't come through in that 30 minutes, so you just got to get busy.
Well, look, you take on GT in the next one. What are you thinking of this semi-final against GT?
Yeah, this is a heat I've wanted. So I come to Brazil hoping to get Tamiga somewhere along the line, and I'm looking forward to this heat.
That's a hungry Mitch Rollins. He wants Tamiga. You hear that?
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a showdown coming into this last couple of heats here. You take on GT. You get through that one. You take on the winner of this one now, either Winnie or Ben.
Yeah, it's good. At least one Australian will be in the final. There's a big group of us, and I was just talking to Ryan on the way down here, and an Australian's been in every single final this year. So, it shows that we're super competitive, and we've got a lot of depth over in Australia, and should have for a long time.
Yeah, well said, mate. Good words. And any last words you want to say before I let you go and get ready for this semi-final?
Yeah, just hi to my sister and her husband and my girlfriend and everyone back home. JJ, Whitey, the boys from Inverted at Burley, all the shops at Sport and Found Boards.
And what about the dog, Dusty?
And Dusty, and go the Rabbitohs.
All right, back to you boys in the booth. That was Mitch Rollins taking that one out.
Talk about a confident Mitch Rollins coming to Brazil, wanting to face off with the Brazilian legend himself, Guilherme Tamega. And guess what? His question has been answered. His dream has been answered. In semifinal number 2, you're going to see him go against GT. Look at this, though. Semifinal number 1, 30 minutes semifinal, 20 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Ben Player leading the charge right now, but Dave Winchester only has a 1 wave under his belt. Ton of time left. And look at that, Ben Player clocking in some serious points.
Yes, while we were away with the interview, you saw a couple of quick cutaways to
Yes.
Ben Player out in the water. Ben scoring, he was sitting with a
Oh,
1.2
God.
and Dave with a 7, and Ben has since caught 3 waves. He has a 7 and a 6.53 as high scores. That moved him ahead of Dave Winchester with a combined 13.53, but Dave's still looking for a secondary score.
You can look on the outside there. There's a little texture on the water coming in from the winds that are coming in from the opposite direction. We've had clean conditions throughout the morning, 3 to 4 foot waves coming in. Now it looks like the wind is starting to come in and creep in. It will affect the lip. So now the riders have to be a little bit more precise on their timing when they're going for these big lip maneuvers, the aerial, the ARS, and the backflips. And the barrels, they're still here. I mean, we got a lot of water coming into the inside and still heaving on the sandbars here in Itacoatiara. Again, Manny V here and Action Jackson giving you the live feed.
Here's a replay of Ben's 7-point wave, pulls into the barrel, clean exit, coming down and hits the invert on the outside section. Meanwhile, live action, Manny.
Dave Winchester in the yellow jersey, straight off the bottom, cranks an invert. Nice, gets it tweaked. Dave Winchester looking for a second wave, and that is it right there. It's going to come into a nice scoring area. I'm saying like a 4, 5, maybe a 6, but he needs that second wave, and that's going to add on. Ben Player, a 7 and a 6.53. This is Dave Winchester's second wave.
Here you can see him scratching into this one, drops down, driving down the line, looking for a little speed, hits the section. Nice extension. You can see him tweak the board out, comes down, lands smooth, and Dave Winchester back in business. Both these guys have 7s, so that secondary score right now is going to be what comes into play. We'll see what he gets on that last wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to the live feed from the beautiful beach of Itacoatiara here in Brazil, just outside of Rio de Janeiro. This is the Itacoatiara Pro, sponsored by Pride. Uzike.com and net. Manny V here with Steve Action Jackson bringing you the live feed. Semifinal heat number 1 out in the water. 18 minutes remaining out of this 30-minute heat. Ben Player taking charge. We're still waiting for Dave Winchester's second wave to pop onto your screen. Thank you all for tuning in. Leif and Zara in Tasmania. The B-Wall boys, what up? And Jordan, Gold Coast. All of Australia is most likely tuned in right now because you got we do have an Australian in the final, no matter what. One of these two guys will go into the final, and the next semifinal, GT and Mitch Rollins. It could be an all-Australian final. Oh, doctor. And a big shout-out to New Zealand, the New Zealand crew, the Mud Crabs, Tumbles, Blakeo's crew. Oh, wait a second. Stand by. Look at this, Ben Player.
BP up and riding, drops down, looking for some speed, driving. Another barrel section comes out, Manny, and still looking for that end maneuver. Gets the roll off of the oncoming closeout section. Another solid barrel ride for Ben Player. He's just, finding them somehow out there.
Yeah, those barrels are very rare out there, and Ben Player's able to find them. Here's another look at Ben Player's wave. As you can see, he knows it's going to form up into a barrel, so he maneuvers and cuts through the wave, the face of the wave, and finds the right speed line, the trim line, to be able to have enough speed to pop out through there. And you can see Winchester in the back taking a look and seeing what Ben Player's doing. And Ben Player ending that wave with a very conservative roll through the lip, and that's going to be another high-scoring wave for Ben Player. So let me finish off the New Zealand boys. So the Blakeo's crew, the Grizzy boys, what up? Far North Posse, Deep South Inbreds. Deep South Inbreds. Denny, Wellesley, Jeff King, and everybody thank the head for giving me this list of the New Zealand crew. Thank you all for tuning in from all over the world. This is it, people. We're coming down to the wire. Semifinal 1 and 2, and the final of the Itacoatiara Pro here in Brazil. Here we go, out in the water.
There you can see the current situation out in the water. We had Dave Winchester score a 6.53 on his second wave, which moved him back into the top spot, but then Ben Player scoring a 6.75, a new high secondary score for him. That moves him back into the top, so lead change, flip-flopping with these guys out there, basically going wave for wave at this point. We're just about halfway through this semifinal heat, and Ben Player, Dave Winchester, chess match out there, going wave for wave, trading the lead, non-stop out there.
Well, let's take a look at the score right here. We're still waiting for the scores to drop. I think that's it. No, we're up to date.
Yeah, there you can see guys out in the water waiting for the next wave exchange to come their way. But Ben Player and Dave Winchester, some solid scores under their belt, going back and forth, and
This is
definitely making things interesting.
That's right. I mean, if we look back, before Ben Player's last wave of a 6.75, his two highest scoring waves were a 7 and a 6.53. Look down at Dave Winchester's scores. That's exactly what Winnie had until that 6.75 score. So it's going to be a battle. Back and forth, most definitely. It's just a matter of catching the right wave. Look at Ben Player on the left of your screen and Dave Winchester way down the beach. They are on different peaks. Now it's all about who is in the right position.
We've been seeing this a lot in the quarterfinals and now again in the semifinals. First portion of the heat, we're seeing guys on separate peaks away from each other down the beach. As time winds down, you're going to see these guys draw closer to each other and start, using a little strategy with the priority system. Maybe some blocking, utilizing, priority to take off on a wave to use as a block. So we'll see how this one plays out, but we've seen a lot of that so far today.
Here is a quick look of the road to the final. And as you can see, we are going to see at least one Australian in the final, whether it be Ben Player or Dave Winchester, and a possible all-Australian finals here in Brazil. But there's one Brazilian that can put a stop to that, Guilherme Temega. He's going to face off with Mitch Rollins at 13 minutes from now. That's how much is remaining in Semi 1. Here is Ben Player.
Meanwhile, up and riding, driving down the line.
Oh, my!
Flip. Another big flip from Ben Player.
Pulls it off.
He rides out through the whitewater, pulls it off, completes the maneuver. That's going to score well with the judges. That'll help him firm up that first place position right now, but still not, not in a safe place with Dave Winchester in the heat.
No, tons of time left. 13 minutes to go. As you can see right now, there's not much of a barrel section, so Ben Player goes around the section and keeps his eye on the section for a big maneuver right there, and you saw the giant backflip from Ben Player, and he pulls it off out in front of the whitewash. The judges are going to like these big one maneuver waves, but they would like to see more big moves on a wave, and that's going to be a higher scoring point. But that's going to be a solid wave right there for Ben Player. Shout out to Jordan, Pasco, Yaniv, Carl in Perth, and Sean in Tassie. Veg is in New South Wales, Swati. Reed is tuned in from Forster, and also Joao from Namibia. Oh, man, that's a tough one. Well, anyways, Joao's in Africa. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the Itacoatiara Pro, sponsored by Pride, Uzike.com, and NetManny Steve Action Jackson. Holy mackerel, we are in for a good one here. Semi-final number 1, Ben Player's last wave, a 7.63.
That's going to be Ben Player's new high score. So now he's got a combined 14.63, a little more breathing room between him and Dave Winchester. Winnie currently needs a 7.64 or higher to catch Ben Player. 12 minutes remaining. This heat's definitely turning out to be what we expected. Definitely interesting out in the water.
Well, Dave Winchester only has 2 waves under his scorecard, and as you can see on your screen, a 7.64 is what he needs for that first place spot. These two guys are friends out of the water, definitely serious competitors in the water. Ben Player leading the charge. Dave Winchester looking for that 7.64.
We saw it earlier when Winnie came out of his quarterfinal heat. One of the first guys to greet him on the beach was Ben Player, pat him on the back. Good job, buddy. Yeah, right now, different story out in the water. Right now, it's game on. Anything goes, and, may the best man win.
Mitch Rollins, look at that determination, getting fueled up with some juices, some water, and Andrew Lester there for some, How do you handle this? Here you are concentrating for your heat, and all of a sudden you get this super pretty girl asking for an autograph right before your heat. Does that lose concentration? Does he lose focus, or is he stoked to be able to talk to a little hottie?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation before, so I couldn't tell you. But yes, you're right. Mitch, determined. You heard it in the post-win interview down on the beach with Alex Leon. He wants to go up against Guilherme Temega. He's been looking forward to this, and the action's going to be unbelievable.
Uh-oh, camera 2. You know what? I don't know if that's rated GR or R13. But you know what? Welcome to Brazil, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Action Jackson, your words.
Thank you, camera 2. All right, back to the action out in the water there. You can see currently out in the water we have semifinal number 1, Ben Player, Dave Winchester. Coming up, Guillermo Tamega, Mitch Rollins. It's coming down to the end of the show here, and it's just more and more intense, more and more interesting out in the water.
I mean, we can sit here and talk about the battles out in the water all day, but when you get a shot from camera 2, both Jackson and I are married, and we pretty much go speechless. What are we going to say?
Yes.
Our wives will kick our butt, that's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the live feed from Brazil. This is it, the Itacoatiara Pro Ben Player semifinal number 1, leading the charge in the red jersey. Dave Winchester waiting for his third wave with 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Here we go, people. Winner of this heat will advance on to the final. Next up, semifinal number 2, Guillermo Tamega versus Mitch Rollins. Oh my goodness.
And here you can see Winnie paddling for this one, dropping into the left. High speed line, drops down, driving for speed, holding in the pocket, gets a barrel
can
run,
he come out of that?
come out. It looks like it looks like he came out and rolled off that end section. He was in there deep and stuck with it for a long time. I don't know if I lost him in line of sight behind the white water. I don't know if he completed that. The judges have a better view than we do, but wow, Dave Winchester driving. Here's the replay.
It looks like he knew what was going to happen, and it looked like he was in there for, like, you know, infinity, but he had an eye on the opening, and it looked like he did come out of this lax section because we do see him go for a roll maneuver right here. You'll see his board pop out through the lip right there. Boom. You see his hand on the nose, and he did have enough speed to punch through the lip. Look at the front row seat on the outside of these free bodyboarders taking a free session out there watching. But unfortunately, it looks like Dave Winchester did not pull that maneuver off, and the scores are going to come down the pipeline. Oh my, what an incredible semifinal number 1. Unfortunately, we do not have the massive waves that we've seen in the first early rounds of the trials and the main event. But you know what? This punchy little sandbar that we call Itacoatiara has been delivering some punchy hollow sections.
Even at 3 to 4 foot, there's a lot of power out there with these little waves, and there's definitely some current to deal with on the shallow inside. Dave Winchester up and riding again, this time on the right. A little speed bump, driving down the line, trying to pick up as much speed as possible, looking for the end section.
Oh,
wow.
My goodness. Dave Winchester on the hunt for a 7.64. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is the cleanest air reverse 360 we've seen all day. Full rotation, landing facing towards the beach. Good Lord.
So Dave Winchester pulling one out, getting a nice air reverse 360 off of that end section. He was just driving for speed, eyeing up that end section the entire time.
Oh, my. You know what? There's no bias here. Buddha, whatever, Krishna, whoever you're praying for, that was unbelievable. Wow. Dave Winchester with a gigantic air revo, pulling it all the way around. That was amazing. Ben Player now, he is sweating bullets, waiting for the scores to drop for Dave Winchester's last wire. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it's done.
Here you can see him driving. Catches a little speed bump, but it doesn't really affect him much. Keeps on driving, eyeing up that section. Drops down to the bottom to get as much speed as possible. Heads up, hits that end section perfectly. Gets the rotation. Here you see he comes down, brings the legs down for the brace for the landing. Unreal.
Did you see Ben Player looking at, oh, yeah, Winnie loves that wave. He's like, okay, I'll take that. Judges, you better have seen that. Ben Player and Winnie talking to each other right there, screaming, yelling to each other. Look at that.
9.45.
Yeah, I knew it.
Dave Winchester.
Holy mackerel.
Dave now with the 16.45. Moves into the top spot with less than 6 minutes remaining. Now Ben Player is going to be searching for an 8.83. Dave Winchester highest score of the event, I believe.
Let's take another look at this. He makes this look very easy, but let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, one of the toughest moves to perform at this level, in this wave, in these conditions, and full rotation on the landing. Unbelievable. Dave Winnie Winchester with a 9.45, one of the highest scoring single maneuver waves of the event. Incredible. Oh, doctor.
Great execution from Dave Winchester on that maneuver. And you saw there on the replay, throwing his hand up in the air, kind of like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this again. He paddles back out.
Oh, my. I need some words in Portuguese so I can yell them across the live feed. I have one, but I don't know if it's a bad word or not, but, geez, that was unreal. Dave Winchester with a 9. Can we see that one more time? Looks like there's a little lull in the action right there, but that was amazing. That was Dave Winchester's 9.45, one of the highest scores of the event. And full rotation in the air, facing forward. That was unbelievable. That'll be definitely in the highlight reel. Guilherme Temega in the red jersey, semifinal number 2 versus Mitch Rollins. Look at the free surfers down the beach getting some fun waves over there.
We're going for a surf after this is done.
Oh, I'm ready. I got my suit on. I'm ready to go.
I can't believe you're sitting next to me wearing a Speedo and a T-shirt right now. You have gone full-on karaoke style. You're ready to hit the beach and cruise.
Bon dia, mi amigo. Bon dia. Woo! 4 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. Can Ben Player now find an 8.83 ride in the next 4 minutes? We will have to wait and see, but woo! I'm still getting flashbacks of that air reverse from Dave Winchester. Can we see it again? I would love to see it again. I'm sure a bunch of viewers would love to see this again. This will be in the highlight reel. If you want to know how to do a reverse air 360, this is how you do it.
Here you go, Dave Winchester driving down the line for speed, comes off the bottom, hits that section perfectly, gets good projection, great execution, comes down, lands it, and here you're going to see he's going to throw the claim as he spins around to head back out. And Dave Winchester stoked on that. I'm stoked here in the booth just to see it.
Oh, my. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. We do have Jeff Hubbard in the rafters waiting to come in and replace action so he can get a break. He hasn't had a break all day, I believe.
Yeah, I've been here in the booth nonstop since we did the Dawn Patrol morning show.
Oh, my. So we're going to give you a break. We actually were supposed to have Maz with me in this semifinal, so you can have 2 breaks. But, hey, he's wearing my hot pants.
You know what? It's all good, Manny. I'm glad to be in here in the booth watching all the action go down out in the water. Some great views on the beach. Meanwhile, back out in the water, Winnie up and riding.
All right, Dave Winchester cranking off the bottom, getting out of there, knowing that that wave has nothing else to produce. And Jeff Hubbard will come in for semifinal number 2. He's going to commentate with me, with GT and Mitch Rollins. I can see it in his eyes. He's excited and can't wait to get in here because this is going to be pretty much the showdown, the Brazilian versus the Australian. Can Mitch Rollins stop the only Brazilian still in the event to make it into the final? We will see. That's coming up in 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Can Ben Player find that 8.83 ride to get into that first place spot? Dave Winchester hopes not. And here we go.
BP takes a look at that one and then pulls out before dropping in. Wasn't coming together the way he would have liked. Didn't see it lining up very well. So he's going to paddle back out and see if something comes his way with 2 minutes remaining in the heat.
Oh, man. Definitely going to jump on youriding.com to wind down after this event is over. That's usually my cool down and relax session. youriding.com, the bodyboarding version, of course. And I'm starting to add some more friends on there. And anybody want to challenge, I dare you.
I saw You Riding has a little contest going on right now. If you film your waves and submit the entry, Pierre-Louis Costas himself will be judging, and the winner will get a new board courtesy of this event's sponsor, Pride Bodyboards.
Oh, well, can I enter?
Somehow I don't think employees are allowed to enter. Less than a minute and a half remaining, and here we have BP taking a look. Not going to take off on that. Time running out, trying to catch Dave Winchester. Dave with that 9.45 and a 7 sitting in the lead. BP chasing an 8.83 right now with about a minute left. time counting down. This is where things get pretty tense out in the water. Friends or not, out in the water when you come down to this, it gets kind of heavy vibe-wise.
Oh, my. 1 minute to go. Can Ben Player pull through this wave? He's taking a look. You know what? He's scratching. He's paddling away from the right-hander that was delivered to him. Can he get back over there? Here he is paddling back out to it. No, that's Winnie. Winnie turning around. Is he going to put the nail in the coffin? Look at this wave.
Winnie driving down the line, looking for a section. High speed line, drops back down. Here we go. Another big air revo.
Oh, Dave Winchester putting the nail in the coffin against Ben Player, but can Ben pull it off?
BP not done yet. The two-time world champ up and riding, gets a nice little cover-up, drops back down, looking for an inside section. Goes the air revo himself, gets it around, and there you can see Winnie. He's coming over. Winnie's just having fun now.
Oh, my. Can Ben Player, was that an 8.83 ride for Ben Player's barrel ride to air reverse that he did not pull off? I don't think so. Ben knows that. Winnie knows that. And Winnie will advance on to the final. Will Dave Winchester have a back-to-back win on the Grand Slam Series? We will see. Ben Player obviously very frustrated and pissed off.
That was an explosive ending to that heat. We saw Dave Winchester hitting another air reverse, which, dare I say, might have been better than his first one that got a 9.45. Here you can see on the replay, Winnie driving.
Look at this, back-to-back air reverses from Dave Winchester, and he knows he got a high score on the other one, so he's going to do it again right there. This time, he didn't pull the full rotation off in the air, but landed that perfectly. Winnie with another solid ride right there, but look at Ben Player's last wave. Oh, all right, we'll see Ben Player's next wave, but a deep barrel ride and a reverse on the inside that he did not pull off. Holy mackerel. Jackson, any last words? Oh, wait, here it is.
Here's the replay of Ben Player. Drops in, gets a nice little barrel, comes out. You're going to see it. Well, now he comes out. He got a nice ride in there. He was in there for a little bit. Comes in, drops down, finds that end section, gets the air reverse. Not the cleanest rotation. And actually, it doesn't look like he pulled it off. He fell behind the whitewater, but a nice attempt there. Ben